morning, y'all. It is November 19th, and it is a frigid morning. My phone is saying 36 degrees, but it feels a lot colder, and I think it's because of the rain yesterday. Um, I remember it saying it was only going to get down to 40, but it ended up getting down to 36. So it stopped raining about 9:30 last night, and I think what happened is the wetness with the cold caused that wet cold. Like I grew up in Florida, so when we would get cold snaps, when it was like 40 degrees, it would feel like it does when it's like 34, 32, because the humidity with the cold just causes that wet cold that just creeps into your joints and into your bones, and you just feel it a lot more for some reason. The dry cold is not as stingy. That's the best way I can say it. It doesn't sting as much as that wet cold does, and that's what we got last night. So last night I slept in my bag with my sleeping bag over my head the whole night, just because last night, not last night, the night before, it actually got colder than it did tonight, but it didn't feel as cold, and it's because of the wet. And now the whole ground's frozen from all the rain from last night. So the trail probably will be a little slick today, but it probably will defrost pretty quick. Um, so yeah, I kind of tossed and turned a little bit. I slept good for the most part, but I did toss and turn a little bit. Like I said, all night I had my sleeping bag over my head. And I've heard people say that if you do that, it'll cause, your sleeping bag to get wet because of the vapor that you're breathing into it. But I never have a problem. And maybe it's because the Z packs, they use that dry down, the down that doesn't get wet. So I don't know if that's why. But yeah, I never have a problem with my sleeping bag ever getting like moisture in it ever. And that's why I think, because I've been thinking about getting another bag, and I was looking at Enlightened, because everyone's like Enlightened, Enlightened. First of all, I don't like quilts. Um, and I was looking, and then I compared them with the Z packs. The Z packs is lighter, and well, the 10 degree is lighter than the Enlightened like 20 degree bag. And it's so much lighter, and like I said, they use that dry down, which I like a lot. I don't know if Enlightened does, but it makes no sense to, and it's the same price. Actually, I think Enlightened was a little bit more. So it just makes no sense for me to buy an Enlightened sleeping bag. I am going to stick with Z packs, but I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger on that bag yet. It's a 10 degree bag. I want it so bad. But the truth is, I stay warm in my bag. It's just my face that gets cold. But anyways, so today last night I was talking to my wife about going into Buena Vista, and we were looking, and she said that Lexington is a much better place to go. There's a lot more stuff there. And so I decided to just go into Lexington today. So I got a room at the Super 8. And I did a little Instagram post this morning saying I need a ride into town, hoping maybe someone will feel bad for this poor Sobo out in the cold and give him a ride into town. That would be awesome. If not, hopefully, it's probably a big enough town because it said it has a hospital and shopping malls, that there's Lyft drivers. So I'll figure out something, hopefully. But the thing I'm concerned about is reception a little bit, because the reception's been horrible out here. Yeah, so what else? I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, so I have 14 miles to hike to that road crossing to go into town. And I'm going to finish my coffee and pick up a few little things and hit the trail. And when I get back on the trail, I will get back with y'all. All right. Hey y'all, so I have 8 miles to hike till I get to that US Route 60 and get off to Lexington. Um, Man, as you can tell, it's another bleak, cold, gray November day. Man, this is how I always envision when people talk about November days. I always picture like days like this because this is usually what November is like. But I did not expect November to be this cold. I mean, it is bitter cold, like that cold that just gets into your joints. And whew, man, I don't know. I am not having any fun today. I just cannot lie. I've been trying to stay positive, stay in the moment, and just be like, okay. And usually, if it's a day where I know I'm going into town, I feel good and I got energy. Man, not today. Last night was just brutal, man. And honestly, I don't know how many more of these nights I can take like that, where you're just curled up in the fetal position, trying to stay warm. And oh, man. And then you wake up and it's freezing, and you're like, oh, yeah, awesome. I get to look forward to hiking however many miles I can hike to the next spot to freeze all night. Oh man. And I know it sounds negative what's coming out of my mouth, but I'm telling you, unless you've done this and stayed out in the cold day after day after day, and I'm not talking about going on a week section hike. Not I don't mean a week section hike. I mean a section hike for a week or even 2 weeks. I'm talking about being out here and in the back of the head, in your head, knowing you're going to be out here for a while in this cold, and it's just going to get colder. Unless you've done that, unless you've experienced that, I'm just being honest, you really can't understand what it's like to just be out in the cold all day long. It is no fun at all. It really isn't. So, yep, enough of me complaining, I guess. I need to just keep on hiking. So I'm going to get on the trail and keep on hiking southbound, and I will get back with y'all. All right. Hey y'all. So man, look at this view. This view is amazing. So if you see up there, that's Coal Mountain. I guess there's another really amazing view up there. But I mean, I'm just like, I can't believe how amazing this view is. I was gonna wait till I got up there to talk, but I'm like, man, it's so beautiful. Whew. It makes the cold bearable almost. But man, it is. It's like, I cannot believe this. I don't remember this view for some reason. But this is, I mean, it's breathtaking. Hey everyone. So I'm up on Bald Knob, and it's not really that bald at all. There's a lot of trees up here actually. So I'm like less than 3 miles to go down to Route 60, where I was hoping to get picked up, get a ride into Lexington. Unfortunately, I've called all three of the shuttle drivers that are on gut hooks. Two of them didn't answer at all. One answered and he can't pick me up. He says he has plans, and this has kind of been a problem since I've gotten, probably since I would say like September. It seems like all the shuttle drivers are kind of like, maybe they just really work around Nobo season and then they do other stuff when the northbound season ends, because I've been having a hard time getting any shuttle drivers to ever pick me up. That's why I've been relying on Lyft, and luckily I've had some subscribers hook me up and get me rides, so that's been amazing. Because that's one thing, if you're doing a southbound, you got to think about that. Getting the lifts into town is not as easy as doing a northbound. When I did my northbound, I swear, like, I never had a hard time getting into town ever. Because you call a shuttle driver and they're like, yeah, we'll pick you up, we'll be there. So I don't know. I hope I can find a ride into town. Doesn't look like there's any Lyft drivers either. So, man, I don't know what to do. Hopefully there's someone down there when I get to the bottom. I hope I have reception when I get to the bottom, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So, oh, man, I don't know. I'm like, should I stay up here where I have a little bit of reception and try to find a ride? Or go down there and hope there's reception? Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do. I think I'm going to try a couple more people before I go down to the bottom and see if I can get a ride, because I do not want to be stuck there. And it is so cold right now. I mean, it's like 2 p.m. and it still has not warmed up all day. It's just cold, like my fingers are numb cold. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to get back on this phone and try to find a few. Hopefully someone else can get me and I'll see. And when I get to the bottom, I will get back with y'all and let you know what is going on. All right. Hey y'all, so I made it to Route 60. So I was looking at this missing persons poster. Man, it is suspicious, like super sketch. Okay, so the guy's name is Chad Hunter Austin, and his age is 30, so he's a young guy. And then it says Chad was last seen during the evening on Monday, May 27th by campers in the Panther Falls area. Then they talk about what he was wearing: a gray tank top with long shorts below the knees, possibly beige in color. Then around 12:30 on Tuesday, May 28th, his car was found abandoned about 2 miles down the turnoff for Panther Falls Road. So they found his car abandoned. Now get this, his beloved dog Gunner was found alive, locked inside the car. So his dog, he brought his dog, but left him locked in the car. I mean, that is suspicious. During a police search of the area on Thursday, May 30th, partial keys were found approximately a half mile from where the car was abandoned. So they almost, I mean, that sounds like he came here just to end it. But man, why would you bring your dog and lock your dog in the car? Obviously, the guy wasn't thinking. Obviously, he was all messed up. Um, but then, and then if you are going to do it, if you are going to come out here and end your life, obviously he has loved ones who worried about him. They put this poster up. Why would you do it so mysteriously like that and leave all your loved ones wondering what happened to you? I mean, man, I know it's a sad situation, but that is self-centered to the most. And I don't know, man, that's sketchy. But to me, from what it says, it sounds like he came out here to just end it all. It's sad, I get. I mean, it is sad, but terrible way to go about it, man. If there is a good way to go about it. But that's another thing. People do not talk about all the people who go missing in these national forests. And a lot of them around the AT. And it happens mostly in the South. And the connecting trails. So many non-hikers go missing out in these forests. And people don't talk about it much. They talk about the hikers who go missing and, you know, or the tragic things that happen to the hikers or the thru hikers, but never about the, you know, ordinary Joe who just came out here and who knows what happened to that guy. Man, how depressing. Depressing end to a depressing day. Nah, it wasn't that bad, I guess. It was just cold and gray. And it's funny because the sun finally came out the last mile of hiking. The sun came out and it warmed up a little bit. It's crazy. And the weird thing too, though, is the bottom of my feet hurt. And I never have problems with the bottom of my feet. But I think it's these socks I'm wearing. I have a pair of socks that just I need to get rid of. So my wife did finally get me a ride, but they're not going to be here for another like 40 minutes. So I have time to just sit here and wait. But lucky for me, there are picnic tables to sit at. So yeah, I'm definitely ready to get into town, get into a warm motel room, and get out of this cold, man. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to have to do this a lot on this hike until I finish, is to try to just get out of the cold whenever possible and take advantage of it. Because, man, I have gotten so wimpy with the cold. I really have. But like I was saying earlier, man, unless you've done this and just been out here hours and hours in the cold, it's a whole different thing. Like at home, yeah, you wake up and it's cold, and you know, and then you get in your car and you turn on the heater and you drive to work and you get out and it's cold, and then you get into your warm office or warm wherever and you work, and then you get out and it's cold, and you get in your warm car again, and then it's cold, then you walk your dog, it's cold, but then you go into your house, in your warm house. So the average person is never out in the cold a long time. And even people who work out in the cold all day, they still, most of the time, woke up in a warm bed and at night go home to a warm house. And out here, you just don't have that unless you go into town. So, yeah. You know, I'm not like griping or complaining. I'm just saying it's a whole different thing when this is all you have, when this is your home, the outdoors, the cold, you know, like my tent doesn't have a heater. These shelters don't have heaters. Yep. But anyways, I am going to sit down, I guess, edit my video for a little bit, eat a little, and then when he picks me up and I get back into town, I will get back with y'all then. All right. Hey y'all. So today is actually tomorrow. So what happened is when I got to that Route 60, I waited for the shuttle driver. He came and picked me up. By the way, his name is Gary, and he does shuttles for Buena Vista and Lexington. Super awesome guy. Been doing it for a while. So if you're trying to get into town around here, look him up. But anyways, he picked me up, brought me to the Super 8. As soon as I came in, I just cranked up the heat, man, because that cold just, it was really, really getting to me, affecting my mood. And, yeah, and the thing is if I'm just kind of having one of those days where I'm just like dragging and stuff's getting to me and the cold's getting to me, I'm just not one of those people who can put on a smiley face and be like, but it's all good and everything's looking up. I just am not one of those people, man. I express my feelings the way they are, and a lot of people take it as complaining or being negative, and that's okay because they have the right to that opinion, but it's not. It's just, I just express my feelings how I'm feeling that day. So anyways, when I got here, what did I do? Of course, I talked to my wife. Then I went and ate, and I got this big salad, giant salad. It was so good. Then I came back in, and I talked to my wife for a little bit, and I, of course, edited my video. And then I went to sleep at like 11 last night. I didn't wake up till 10:30 today, and I mean, I slept solid the whole time. And I feel great now, and I've just been so exhausted, and the cold has been whooping up on me. I'm not gonna lie. So I am in town, and I decided I'm going to take a few days off in town. I got to reevaluate my gear. There's a Walmart. I'll be able to buy like some stuff that'll hold me over, and but yeah, I got to reevaluate my gear. And honestly, I just need a mental as well as a physical break. I really do. I just need to just not do nothing and not think about anything, and just try to get my bearings straight, basically, because I don't want to make any rash decisions. But man, sometime lately I've just been like, and I know it's the cold, but it's just been, that cold's been that extra motivator to just say, you know what? Go home. It's all good. Go home. You don't have nothing to prove. You've done this before. But man, I'm just not one of those people who like quits. I'm just one of those people who talks about quitting and never does. Oh man. But anyways, like I said, I do feel 100% better. And I think a couple days off is just going to help me a lot, hopefully. So yeah, today it's all about going over my gear, seeing what I need to get and change, and and just getting my head straight, getting it back in the game. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take a couple days off. So y'all might not see videos for a little bit. But I will get back on trail for sure. And when I do, I will talk to you then. All right.